What's up, guys? Alex here. Just thought I'd post a little video on my home time here. I'm actually doing some maintenance and a light upgrade on my 2019 Suburban LT 4x4. I actually have we're going to be doing some brakes. A little bit of a, let's say a factory plus upgrade. Not exactly the Brembo kit, which I've heard issues of those warping on these trucks. On the Tahoes, and especially, I mean, when you think about it, the Suburban, it's about a 6,000 pound truck. I do have these dimpled rotors with these little wavies, ceramic pads, of course. Let's see the part number on these if anybody's interested. I mean, I found them all off of Rock Auto. Here we go. That's it right there. Ceramic pads. The rotor part number is that one right there. It's like a factory plus. I'd say as close to the police spec, maybe even better than that the GM puts on the PPVs from the factory. I got the usual, got my shims ready, got my brake CRC caliper grease because I do so many brake jobs, not just on mine, but friends and family. Torque wrench, of course. My old trusty, really old fishing tackle box of random nuts, bolts, wiring connectors, and just miscellaneous. This is the oil. We're doing an oil change today too, so 020 Platinum Full Synthetic. We'll try this one out with the old trusty ACDelco. There's the part number right there. UltraGuard Gold filter. And that's it for now. I mean, I'll post some progress videos once I get the wheels knocked off. It's not up on jack stands yet. So I'm gonna have them up on jack stands, crack the lug nuts loose, and we're gonna get at it. And by the way, yeah, don't mind the white scratches on the rims, but these are 22 by 10s, S126s by Dub rims, and of course Lionheart tires, but they're almost ready. They're almost worn out enough where I'm gonna get myself some Nito NT 420Vs, I believe. Those are gonna look pretty good on here. Anyway, we're gonna post some more updates in a couple minutes once I knock the wheels off. All right, guys, I got both tires off, both sides. I just lightly jack it up. I don't take it up all the way. Then I break the lug nuts loose. Then I finish bringing the height. Take off the lug nuts, and then, as bless my grandpa, he told me anytime you work on a car, especially big trucks, you slide the tires. Well, I mean, it's different when you're in a mechanic setting, but when you're in your garage doing it, slide the tire underneath the frame right there, right behind the jack stand. So if the car does come off the jack stand, it's not gonna completely keep the car off the ground, but if you're under there, a couple inches is life and death with cars falling on you. So that right there is an emergency kind of thing. I did the same thing on the other side. Keep the lug nuts right next to it out of the way so I don't kick them. But back to it. All right, so I got the wheels off. While you're under here, it's very helpful to just check everything. Check your ABS line running back. Make sure there's no rubbing, no kinks, no breaks. Your brake line, double check it from the connection all the way to the back of the caliper here. All the way back there. Check it, just for cracks, abrasions, bulges, cuts. I check this, my personal truck, no different than I check my semi-truck, man. I follow the ABCs and all that other stuff. Make sure the nuts are good. This is the first time these brakes are getting done. 36,000 miles on the truck. I know, it's baby. It's baby miles, but I have the GM Duralife rotors. I am switching them out. I'm going to keep them just in case, but they're really good. There's barely any wear. I mean, there's like nothing on them. These are lifetime rotors. Very good. But the pads, because of the way I drive the truck, I do drive it a little more aggressive than a typical soccer mom in a Suburban. But they're ready to go. Those are GM factory pads. They've been good so far. They could be better, hence the reason why I got the performance upgrade. Pretty much factory plus, what I like to call it. Anyway, we're gonna get this all done. You could tell before when I swapped out the factory rims for the 22s. I did put some lithium grease on there to keep the back of the rims from sticking to the calipers or getting that rust buildup on there. I'm going to pull these off, double check everything. This is a 4x4. It does have 22s on it. So check your wheel bearings, check your steering, everything else. Check everything right here. Steering arms, of course, A-arms, upper and lowers. Want to check everything right there. Check your coil, check those nuts, everything. Just kind of give it an overview. Make sure nothing's cracked, broken, coming apart. I know this is pretty low miles, shouldn't be doing that. Little rub mark from having, just to let you know, if you run 22x10 wide, you are going to get the usual rub if you don't put at least a 1/4 inch spacer on there, but I'm not a big fan of spacers, so I'm just okay with that little bit of light rub on there. But anyway, the other side is going to mirror this side, with the exception of, the steering arm coming across the back of that coil bucket right there down to the unit. But anyway, I'm going to get the caliper apart, get the discs on and new pads in, and I'll post an update. All right, so here I got, caliper off. One quick note, do not forget the disc retaining bolt. My bad, I meant to call that the disc caliper brackets right there. Don't forget that bolt, that little star nut that holds your disc onto the hub. Some people aren't used to that and just go hammering away wondering why it's not coming off the hub. Very important, and important to put it back because it's going to make future brake jobs easy because it's just going to retain that disc onto that hub there while you remove pads. Update, I put the new slides in. I'm a brake caliper grease type of dude. I always put it on there even if it doesn't call for it. Here's my pads, old pads. Not bad. I mean, not bad for how aggressive I drive it. Pretty good. Here's the new ones. Thick, of course. Nice, good pad material. Got the edge chamfers on there. So, nothing too crazy. There is a specific way to put the calipers on with the pads in them because of the your little squealer thing. I check my brakes enough. I don't really need that. It's kind of a good audible thing for people that have rims where you can't really see through to the calipers, or if you don't really get services done on your car or truck much. There, I always support the caliper. I don't like doing the whole tie a wire to it and hang it off a suspension component. I'm really not a fan of that. I just throw it on a nice jack stand and just leave it elevated with the line loose. Anyway, yeah, there is a way to put them on properly. You just got to double check how you removed the factory pad. If you are removing factory pads, the little squealer thing, when it goes on, because this is the back, this goes on the double piston side, like this one is. You can see the pistons, imprint of the pistons on there. That's usually easy. It's going to go like this, and the rotation's going to the left of your screen, right there. And that little squealer is going to hit the rotor and make a little squealing noise. It's not all the time when it squeals your brakes that it's your brakes that are low. Sometimes they fail to put the caliper grease on to the mounting points, and it's actually a high-pitched vibration noise. And it makes it sound like your brakes are worn. Majority of the time it is your brakes are worn, but if they do forget to put that on, that squealing noise is a high-pitched vibration, high frequency. So it will make that noise. Sometimes, ceramics do it when they're cold. Once they warm up a little bit from city driving, they're dead silent and they work really good. So you'll get that like the first break of a cold morning. Anyway, about the, I don't need no special caliper tool because I just have a piece of bar stock, aluminum bar stock, and a C-clamp, which is pretty cool. Anyway, pop the lid off. I don't take it off all the way. I just leave it kind of like right there, and I double check every couple turns. I double check. Fluid's still looking honey colored, so I'm happy. I was gonna do a flush, then looked at the color and I'm like, it's good. It could probably go for another, I don't know, till the next brake change maybe. Or if I decide to do something else to the brakes, like maybe put some stainless lines on, which anybody knows where I could get stainless lines for these model trucks. I'd love to put some stainless on. Anyway, almost there. Just got the clips on, took that hole off. I know there's no torque wrench right here. I do have mine over there with the tools. So I'm gonna crack that out. And then I do torque everything down pretty good. Like always, I just don't high and tighten stuff. I used to do that when I was younger and it worked. But now that I'm older, I like doing stuff to the book, if that makes sense. Rears later, I'm just gonna check them. I don't think they're that worn. Usually for every 2 front brake jobs, I'm changing rear pads once. And the pads on these trucks on the rear aren't used as the parking brake. They do have like a mini drum within the disc. As you notice, I'm not upgrading the rear calipers and rotors. There's really no need to, because I don't do any like spirited performance driving in this, which you really shouldn't in these big old boys. I'm just doing the front mainly because I have 22s. I do carry people regularly in all 3 rows, and I do occasionally tow a U-Haul trailer. I don't have the max tow pack or nothing on here, just enough to tow maybe 6.5, 7,000 pounds, and that's about it. But having those extra brakes, especially on long road trips, which I do take this on a lot, are helpful. All right, guys, here's how they look. Here's how they look. My God, my English is bad. Now that they're complete, super easy install as always with GM products. Fit perfect. Being an ACDelco GM product, you know it's going to fit. It is quality above OEM. As you can tell, got my brake grease. It looks like a ton, but I just evenly spread it everywhere just to kind of keep it going. Clearances are beautiful. You can see a little daylight right there. That looks looking nice. Build quality of these is amazing. Calipers on, cleaned it off. Everything is torqued. These 170 foot-pounds. Not a lot of torque wrenches go up to that. Make sure you know that before you do it. Don't do the ugga-duggas. That's gonna crack your aluminum knuckle on this. So no ugga-duggas on it. Full torque wrench. GM pads, look at that. Calipers are made by, what is that, Akabono? That's pretty good. Anyway, these right here, slide pin bolts. Right here, not actual slide pins. The pins are here. They stay in the caliper. This is just to mount the caliper to the caliper bracket. These right here, 74 foot-pounds. Torque them nicely. You don't really need the second wrench to hold it in place. Mine held nicely. Yeah, as long as everything's torqued, double check, make sure everything's good. Just a tip, I did have to turn the wheel to get everything torqued right because of my torque wrench and my breaker bar to break everything off. It wasn't too bad. It just took me a little longer just because I am taking video of it. And also, a couple more things quick before I stop. Brake fluid wasn't that bad. It was right about there before I pushed the pistons in. It's looking good, still clean. And also, these are dual piston calipers. You're gonna need a bar that goes across to push them in evenly. Push them right in evenly with whatever. If you got an expensive brake service kit, yeah, you're gonna have that. You're gonna be able to do it, no problem. I'm talking about those that don't have that. They're doing this for the first time. What I showed earlier in the video, you got a piece of bar material. That's just aerospace grade aluminum. It's just a bar that I cut real quick from some scrap. C-clamp, you don't need much. You don't need a massive heavy duty C-clamp, but you also don't want to get one of the little dinky ones that like hold like sheets up to like a piece of material. You just want something that easily could push the material, push those dual pistons in at the same time. Don't forget on there is also the seals, the little seals on there that wrap around those pistons. Make sure you don't get your compression tool on there and pinching those seals. Otherwise, you're going to have a headache on your hands with having to rebuild the caliper with putting new seals in if you cut those, because that's a dust shield, and if you cut that, that's going to let dust and dirt and grime inside the piston, and it's going to wear out your piston seal that runs in that smooth bore that's machined real nice to seal it. That's going to wear out. Then you're going to have brake fluid leaking issues on your brakes, your discs, your calipers. That could cause a fire, because brake fluid is not invincible, but it can catch fire. And it can also keep you from completely stopping the vehicle too. It is an oil, a type of oil, so do not do that. Anyway, that's how it goes for the front for 2019 Chevrolet Suburban LT 4x4. GM brakes are, honestly, with all the vehicles I've worked on, these are bigger than the other series trucks from, let's say, 07, the 14, and then the 01 or 2000 and 01 to 2007. Those discs are a little smaller or similar size, but for the most part, they're all the same. They're like Legos. You can swap them in and out. Just make sure you double check everything and put them together properly if you want to mismatch and do some stuff with the braking on these trucks. But otherwise, this kit went on ultra smooth. I didn't get it as a set, like a kit per se, like all together. I did do my research and pickpocket some specific parts from Rock Auto that I knew would fit with each other. Technically, you can get it, you could call it a kit, but I did get these rotors separate. I did get the pads separate. Same with the rears. When I do those pads were separate, bought separately, and researched differently. Otherwise, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to break them in, and I'll post an update later on how that goes.